Diolch, Dr. Llywydd. Minister, the Welsh Government has funded many businesses. I think in your press release earlier today, you indicated that over 8,000 businesses have benefited from the Economic Resilience Fund. Now that fund is about £400 million, and that for SMEs. And I'm sure you and I appreciate that some of our anchor businesses, such as the air industries mainly in the north and the steel industries mainly in the south, would eat that money up in one go. And therefore one business will get that. Therefore the funding and the levers are not necessarily with the Welsh government, but with UK government. And we've heard an awful lot of Project Birch and how it's supposed to be helping these type of industries. To date, we're seeing nothing happen. And we know that the industries are going to be facing crucial times ahead of us as other European countries are helping their steel sectors. And China is also coming out of this. Are you knocking on the doors of Westminster and even 10 Downing Street to demand that the UK government now enacts Project Birch and supports these large businesses, because they are the mainstays of much of our economies, both in the north and south of Wales?
Well, can I thank David Rees for his question? He's absolutely right that only the UK government has the financial resource to be able to support the sectors with the sort of intervention that's required, particularly aerospace and steel. And they are two sectors that are now standing items on the quadrilateral calls that take place between myself and the economy ministers in the devolved administrations and with BEIS. Project Birch, of course, should be utilised to support sectors and businesses across the UK, but in a way that recognises the needs rather than, as Helen Mary Jones touched on a little earlier, what might be considered a fair and equal split through barnizing support. We have to ensure that support for steel and aerospace through Project Birch, and I am hopeful that the UK government are listening to our calls for support through that particular intervention, but the support that comes our way recognises that in those two vitally important sectors, we have a disproportionately high number of people employed in Wales. And therefore, we would expect through Project Birch and in the longer term through the industrial strategy, the new iteration of the industrial strategy, to have a larger share of the financial resource from those particular interventions. Finally, I should just say that the third sector that is always discussed on those quadrilateral calls is tourism. And I've been at pains to stress the role that UK government has in developing a support scheme that recognises that even if businesses within the tourism sector reopen in the coming month or so, that they are still going to face challenges in terms of generating enough revenue. They are not going to see the sort of revenue generation that was apparent in 2019 because public confidence is not going to be returning to what it was before coronavirus. And therefore, there will need to be a support scheme regardless of whether or not businesses reopen within the tourism sector. And again, only the UK government has the financial firepower to be able to deliver such a scheme for the tourism sector.